Well, hello. Uh, so this is my first time doing a live stream. If you guys can hear me, just say hi in the comment section, so I will know there's like human beings here. But anyway, so right now, what I'm doing is copying my data set into a format that makes more sense. So I created a folder for this project, and the folder for this project is going to be fruit project. So under fruit project, I'm going to have apple. And basically apple is one of the categories for this project that I'm doing. Okay, so let's see here. That's about 1,000 items. I'm going to copy this and into this other folder here. Let's paste this. So basically, this is just a process of bringing all the data together. Okay. And basically, this data set is different types of apples that are possible. And I found this data set on Kaggle, so it's a lot of fun. This is basically the bottom part where I'm just like organizing all my data. Skip the files that are already there. This is just me trying to put all this data together into one big file format. So far we have about 3,000 files. So this is about 3,000 images of fruits, of apple to be specific. All right. So I think we have oh, we did have all the apples in one place. I could have done that. Well, I didn't I didn't know. I could have just used something from all the apples. All right. So this is the last one for the apples. And let's go ahead and paste this. So just a little bit skip these files. So overall, we have about 5,811 apples for this project. That's a large sample size, and that's really good. So now we need bananas, and there's different types of bananas. So I'm just going to copy this file and put it in the folder for my project. And after I'm done organizing all the data sets into the folder for the project, then I am going to create a GitHub repo for this. So this is just the boring part. So this fruit right here is carambola, which is also known as star fruit. So I'm going to copy this and put it in the folder for this project. And then we have different types of guava fruit. There's about 12,000 guavas. That's a lot of data. Having large data sets is good and bad. Like having large data sets means um, means your model could be better, but also means things are going to be slower. So do not be surprised when like we are running something and it takes some time for it to actually run. So that's what I said. That's about 12,000 items. One thing we could do is, oh, it's going by really fast. Going by much faster than I anticipated. So while we let the guava copy over, I should have done this earlier. I totally forgot. We still have to do kiwi, which is not that much. And then the other fruits. While this is happening, let's go ahead and create our GitHub repo. So let me log into my GitHub account here. So right now I'm on GitHub. I'm just going to go ahead and create my GitHub repo for this project. And let's just call this image. How about multi-fruit classification? This project aims to classify different fruits. Let's make it public and initialize readme, and let's add a Python git ignore. Why not? And let's use the MIT license. That's about it. Let's go ahead and create this repo. If you guys are in the comment section, just let me know. Just say hi to make me feel better, I promise. Okay, so this is done copying. We still need, oh, that's strange. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we still need kiwi. So there's about 4,000 kiwis here for this 4,000 kiwi fruits. So this project is, I think, is gonna be really tough. I've never done anything like this before, so fingers crossed, you know. Yeah, JW says this a lot of fruit. Yes. So basically, so this project, my goal is kind of to like build a model that can classify different fruits, and I kind of found this on Kaggle. So I was thinking, should I use all the fruits or should I like use a subset of it? But then I was like, I'm going to start off using all of it, and then if my computer breaks, I will scale it back and use a subset of the fruits for the project. But we'll see. I like to break stuff. I like to break stuff and just to see what happens. I mean, why not, right? So this is mango, and this is like 15 different fruits right here. Luckily, I have 4 TB of data. I mean of storage on my computer, so I'm not worried about that. So I can just do this the easy way. So copy this and delete this folder. Now you might be wondering, why am I copying this? I'm just copying it over because this is like the folder for the project. So I want to make sure all my data is in there. But apart from the folder from the project, I want to keep a separate copy of the data set in a folder that's not connected to the project. So if I mess something up or accidentally delete my data set for whatever reason, I will still have the data set available somewhere else. So that's just my um, safety net. Would you call it that? So this fruit is called musk melon. I totally planned to do this earlier, but I forgot somehow. So don't mind me as I just do the bottom thing of pasting all these fruits here. Let me see, peach. I have a feeling my computer is going to crash at some point, like seriously. So this is pear. But then I'm going to split each of these into test, validation, and training data. So this is going to be fun. Pitaya. I've never seen this fruit before. I think it would be cool, like at the end of the day, to kind of deploy this so other people will kind of play with it, where they upload their own fruits, and then the model will tell them what fruit it is that they uploaded. I think that would be really, really fun if I can take this project that far. Today is just going to be starting the project and doing the basics and stuff like that. And then next time I live stream, I work on the project a little bit more. Next time I work on the project a little bit more. So I'm not going to finish the project from beginning to end today. I'll probably just live stream until 9 p.m. Now it's like 6:48 p.m. my time. And last but not least, tomatoes. I know some people think tomatoes are vegetables, but I think they're actually fruits. Alright, so this is done. So right now, let's go ahead and open Windows command line. So actually, I'm going to use git bash for this one. I'm going to navigate to the location of this. So this is in, let's say, see the desktop. See the fruit classification. Can you see this? I don't know if you guys can see this. So in here, I actually have fruit project, right? Fruit project is the folder where everything is. So inside fruit project is where I have my data, and this is where I'm going to clone the Git repo. So here, if you go on Git, I'm going to go on GitHub and do clone and copy this, and then go back to git bash and do git clone, and then I'm going to paste that, enter. All right, get status. Deleted. Okay, let's do git add everything. That's a lot of fruits for it to add. So I did git add. So right now GitHub is trying to upload all that fruit online. So let's see how this goes. So git add is taking it just a little bit of time. Say multi-fruit classification from GitHub, and that it has everything in there. Okay, you can see it. Okay, that's good. Thanks for letting me know. Just makes me feel just a little bit better. Okay, so I don't know why this is. Alright, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, let me go ahead and exit out of that. Let me refresh this. Nothing should have happened here. Okay. So if we go back, I did git clone, and if you go, this is multi-fruit classification, and this is from GitHub, and this is where everything is. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fruit data and add it in here. So now we have the fruit data inside this GitHub folder. So this is kind of like the first part of it. Now I'm going to start a Python file. Okay, so if when you are working with fruit data set, it's not like an Excel data set. It's not like a CSV data set. So the way you load it is quite different a little bit. So this is what you want your data set to look like. Let me see. See, this is what you want your data set to look like. So you have your images folder, and then inside your images folder you have your training data, your validation data, and of course your testing data if you are doing a 3-way split. And then inside that you have the names of the data set. So if we go back into this fruit folder, right now we just have fruit folder, and then we have the horses, the humans, like the apples and bananas, and then inside it we have the images. Okay, so the objective right now is for me to create a Python file that will split this into training and validation data. I could do it manually, but that would take forever. But I found a Python module that can do it. So in here I'm going to what I'm doing next is splitting the data into training and validation data. So it will look like this. Alright, with that said, let me open the command line and navigate to this command prompt for cd desktop, cd, let's see, fruit classification. The next time we work on this project is going to be more fun. Today is just doing the boring setting up everything process. So cd fruits project, fruit multi fruit. Okay, so inside this multi-fruit classification, I have the fruit data, I have the license readme, and I'm going to actually do a pip. I'm going to create an environment just for this project. And because right now I know I'm going to be using TensorFlow and other stuff, and I'm going to be using Anaconda here in a little bit. But in the future, I really don't know like what packages I'm going to have to import and use. So I'm just going to create a Python environment for it. Whenever I start a new project, I just like to create a Python environment. A new environment for the project. And I know the place to create the environment is whatever has the license and the git ignore and the readme. I know that's like I'm in the right place. That's where I should be creating the Python environment. So to create a Python environment, you do pip env, enter, and let's see. Oh, hold on. Says I think I do pip env shell. So now it's creating a virtual environment for this project. And we'll just wait for that to happen. While that's happening, I'm going to show you the Python package that I'm going to be using. So let's pip split. I think it's called split folder. Yeah. So if you go to pip split folder, this Python package that I found, this is how it's supposed to work, right? So you have your inputs, you have class 1, class 2. So in this case, we have fruit data, then we have apple, banana, guava, kiwi, mango, so that's the different classes, right? And then the results is going to be the training data, the validation data, and the test data sets. And if you scroll down a little bit, it tells you here how to use this particular package. So this is the package I'm going to be using to create training, validation, and test data. All right, let's go here. So the Python, the virtual environment has been created. And this is what my virtual environment looks like. So from here, I'm going to install this. Actually, yeah, I'm going to just go. I'm going to install this package for splitting folders, and I'm going to call it. So to install in a Python environment, to do pip env install split folders. Now it's locking this particular dependency, and that's done. So if we go back to our file here, you'll see that we now have a pip file and a pip file log. This pip file and this pip file log is because of the virtual environment we created. So now I'm going to open this folder in Visual Studio Code. So to open a folder with Visual Studio Code, you just do code and dot, and it just opens that folder. So this is the folder that we are working with right here. Okay, so this is the pip file, the pip file log, and the fruit data. And this is not on, these things are not on GitHub yet. That's why it looks green in color. Okay, so from here, I'm actually going to, so if you look here, this is our fruit data, right? This is our fruit data. So I'm actually going to create a new folder here, and this is where I want the kind of like when I split this into train test split, I want the training, the output to be in this folder. So I call it train fruits split or something like that. And now I'm going to create a new Python file, and let's call it splitting fruit dot python. All right, So if you click right here in Visual Studio Code, you'll be able to see which environment you are using. And I do not use the base Conda environment because that split folders is not installed in Anaconda base environment. I actually want to use a different environment, and let's see, where is that one that I just created? Multi-fruit classification. That's the environment I want to use. So if you're trying to import something and it's not working, make sure you're inside the right environment. So if you go back to this project, like this package right here, it says to use this. You just do import split folders, and let's run this. All right, that's working as expected. And then to use it, you have to do, let's see here, I can make this half screen. How about that? That works. So to use it, you do split folders dot, in this case I want to do ratio. So if you look at the documentation here, the split folders, you can do split folders dot ratio, split folders dot fix. In this case I'm doing dot ratio because I want to split it using a ratio. And the first thing that you put is the input folder, and the input folder is the location of your data set. So I'm going to make this full screen again, and Visual Studio Code also completes some of this for you, so you'll be able to see. So my data set is inside this fruit folder, so I'll just call it fruits data. And then the next thing is the output, where you want the output to go. And in this case, I want it to go to fruit split. That is where I want the output to be. And then the seed, it has like a default of 1337. And then you have to give it a ratio. So in this case, I want the ratio to be 0.7, 0.15 for the test and validation, and then 0.15. So basically the training data is going to be 70% of the data, the validation data is going to be 15%, and the testing and the test data is going to be 15%. All right, so basically this is all the code that I need to split this data set into train, test, validation. So when this is done, it should go into this folder. This folder is empty right now, but we'll see. Control save, and then let's go ahead and run this and cross our fingers, right? And let's see what happens. Oh man, I installed the wrong thing. I totally installed the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm going to save this. I didn't install the wrong thing, but I like to see a progress report of what I'm doing. Let me go ahead and close this. And let me I did this earlier and I totally forgot again. I want to install the one that has a TQDM. It will give you a progress report of what you're doing, and it's not just split folders. So here, let me pip-env uninstall split folders. Give me a second here. All right, pip-env install split folders. But I'm going to do TQDM. And this TQDM kind of gives you a progress report of what's happening. so you know when it's going to be done. It's going to be done, so you're not like, in the dark of what's happening. And let's go ahead and click enter, and let's wait for that to install and add it to our pip file log. Alright, so this is not able to be locked for some reason, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. I'm going to figure that out later. But everything should still be working fine. Alright, let's run this again, and let's make sure we're in this. Okay, so this is the right. Let's go ahead and run this. We'll have to wait for Python extension to be downloading before we see the output. Alright. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's save everything and let's exit out of this. Alright, so this virtual environment might be corrupted. We may have to create a new virtual environment. Stuff like this happens all the time in coding, just makes me mad. But let's go back into the shell again. And just to make sure that stuff is not happening. Split folders, TQDM. Alright. So this virtual environment is corrupted. This happens more often than you realize. Alright, so this is like the easiest way to do it, okay? Like from my past experience, whenever like the pip file is not able to lock a dependency, is because the environment has been corrupted and some stuff is not right. So the hacky way to do it is just to okay, this should be empty. Nope, it has stuff in it, but it's not complete yet. Okay, let's go ahead and delete this. The object, we are just going to start over, not start over completely, but like make some modifications. So let's just copy fruit data, copy this, or not necessarily copy. Let's create a new folder for this project. Let's call it project fruit. This is the hacky way to do it. Like if your virtual environment gets corrupted, the hacky way to do it is just create a new folder and a new virtual environment. Seriously, create a new folder and then take everything that's necessary inside the corrupted virtual environment and move it. Okay, leave the pip file alone. Do not move the pip file. Okay, so this is kind of like a brand new folder that doesn't have any virtual environment attached to it. And I'm sure there's like a better way to do this, but this is my hacky way of doing it. I have multiple hacky ways of doing it. And when the project is over, then we have to like connect this to GitHub, but let's forget about that now. So let's go back in here and let's go back one step. So let's go into the folder we just created. All right, so it has everything that it's supposed to have. Now let's create a new virtual environment inside this new folder that we created. And if you guys have any questions at any time, just you're welcome to ask questions in the comments. All right, so install split folders tqdm, right? First, it's going to create the virtual environment for this project, and then it's going to install what we wanted it to install, and then it's going to lock it. So the reason why I'm installing pip env again is because it didn't lock it the first time. Like when I uninstalled it and then installed it again, like it was corrupted and it couldn't be locked. It's like, anyway, just give it a second and this will boot up. In the meantime, let me see. Ask questions in the comments so I'll have something to do. We'll just have to patiently wait for this virtual environment to be created again. Well, it's taking forever to create this virtual environment, and that's making me mad. It kind of makes me mad when like computers take a long time to do their thing. I'm just like, why can't you just speed up? This is making me mad. It is still taking forever to create this virtual environment. Well, while this is busy creating the virtual environment, we can actually get started with Anaconda. I know this is going to put like more processing power on the computer, but the goal is to crash the computer. If the computer is not crashed yet, we're not working hard enough. Let's go ahead and boot up Anaconda. This virtual environment is taking an unusually long amount of time. Anybody know why the virtual environment is taking a long time? I've never had this happen before. So I'm going to be using Jupyter Lab for this. And if you go to environment in Jupyter Lab, and I can see that I already have TensorFlow installed. So TensorFlow and the dependencies and Keras. So I already have other stuff installed, which makes life easier. So let me go ahead and launch Jupyter Lab. To do Jupyter Lab code, something needs to be included in build Jupyter Lab Python. Okay. I just updated my Jupyter Lab notebooks. I don't know what's going on. Let's find out why this is taking forever. Let's see. Why virtual environment takes a long time to create. Oh. Huh. I think something. Oh, it's working. It's working. It's working. Oh, I'm so excited. I know I shouldn't be this excited, but it's like, oh, finally, it's working. My internet connection is really bad and it's making me mad. Like, I have to keep disconnecting and reconnecting and. Oh, it's working. Oh, it's creating a P5 lock. Hopefully, it can lock it this time. I'm so excited. I get super excited when stuff works. It's just like, feels so amazing. It's locking. It's locking. Fingers crossed. Let's get excited. Let's get excited. Ooh, did it work? No, it didn't work. Huh. Locking failed. That's so whenever we do PIP whenever we try to lock this TQDM, it's kind of having some problems, which is not good. All right. So it didn't create a pip file log file. Okay, so pip shell. Let's go into the pip file shell. Okay. And pip install. Let's try this one more time. If it doesn't work this time, then we'll just ignore this and just install this one. But I don't understand why this is not working. It worked earlier, but it just doesn't like me now, I guess. Let's go back here and oh, that's wrong. Let's try this one last time. If it doesn't work, then we'll just use the regular split folders. But the TQDM, when I tried it earlier, it just gives you a progress report, so you know, like how stuff is working. But let's see why. I don't know why this is not working. My internet is not working again. This is sad. This is really, really sad. Is it because my internet is down? Is that why it's not? Is it? Hold on. Let's try it just one last time. That's literally my life as a programmer. It's working before because my internet wasn't available and this address couldn't be reachable. But now, it worked now. I'm excited. Okay, now let's get to work. I'm in the pip env shell, so that's good. Let's go ahead and open Visual Studio Code. Like, oh my gosh, it worked. The third time is a charm, I promise. All right, so this is our data set. This is our fruit folder. We have to wait for this okay. That's the wrong project fruits, right? All right. So I think project fruit. Let's see. Yeah, project fruit is the name of the virtual environment. All right. Let's go ahead and run this. All right. See, this split folders was imported correctly. So everything is working now, and let's go ahead and run this cell again. All right. So you can see this. See with the TQDM or TDQM something. With that little extension we added to split folders, it's able to give us a progress report of how far it's going. So this is going to take some time to finish. While this is finishing up, I'll see you guys don't have any questions. Yeah, so it's working now. So if you go, if so, um let me see. So basically this folder is doing this right now to our data set. Is creating a training, validation, and a test data set. So Hungry Pie said, where did you learn that? Where did I learn what? I think my video is like yeah, where did I learn what? Can you be a little bit more specific? So when this progress report is done, then we know everything is done. But until then, we can go to um, Jupyter Lab and kind of start working. So I don't know what's going on with Jupyter Lab right now. So let's see here. Oh, split ratios. Um, well, like, so I took an online course, right? That kind of this that showed how to load image data sets. But this online course was working in Google Colab. It was working in Google Colab. And so I was like, well, I want to work in my local computer. I want to work with Jupyter Lab. So I spent many hours Googling how to split folders into train test validation. And I couldn't find anything. Like I Googled last December, I spent a lot of hours Googling. I couldn't find anything. This year, I spent a lot of time Googling. I didn't find anything. And then one day, I went to second page or even third page of Google, and I found this Python package. And when I looked at the Python package, I was like, oh my goodness, a Python package exists to solve this problem. Because if you Google this, like you see a lot of answers on Stack Overflow and other forums that says something like, oh, you have to create some weird script to be able to split into train, validation, and test. But I found this online. I found this package, in Python package that does the exact same thing, and I tried it out and it works, and I was so happy. So I learned it from this package. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to split the images into train, test, validation, but I didn't want to do it manually. So I found a Python package that would do it for me automatically. So yeah, that's exciting. So let's check. Let's do a progress report. Let's see. This is still going. Like when I found this package, I was so happy. Yeah, I know it's awesome. When I found this package, I was so happy. Like, I was jumping up and down. Like, oh my god, I was so happy. I get really excited about stuff like this. So let's go to um. Let's see here. See, that's in about Oh, it's done. It is done. Okay. Oh, wait for the magic. So if you go to this folder right here that's called split data, wait for it. If you're going to test, you have each of the different folders. And if you go to train, you have each of the different folders. If you go into validation, you have each of the different folders. Like this right here is exciting. But anyway, let me go ahead and save everything. Our job here in Python is done. I wanted to do this part in Python, but now that we have done the Python part, if you go back here to fruit project fruit, and if you go to fruit split, you see test, train, validation, and then you see each of the different categories of fruit. So you'll be able to create train, test, validation data sets for your fruits or for your categories or for your images without doing it manually. So that's like super exciting. Now let's go here. If you go to where did I save that? Fruit classification, fruit project fruit. Okay. So inside this folder, I'm going to create a Inside this folder, I'm going to create a new Python notebook. All right. So from this Python notebook, this is actually where we begin the data analysis process. So first things first, let's import TensorFlow as CF. I like to do all my imports right at the beginning. Makes life just a little bit easier. So I want to import TensorFlow, and then I want to, from TensorFlow .keras .optimizers, import RMS prop. We won't be using RMS prop anytime soon. We won't even be using it today. I don't think we'll get that far. But I still want to go ahead and import it. Pre-processing. How do you speak processing? .image, import image data generator. And then I want to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and then I want to import matplotlib.image, I think, as mpimg. Okay. And then actually I'm going to break this apart. So I'm going to do import Keras pre-processing because I might use this again and I don't want to retype it. And then from Keras pre-processing.image, import image generator. And then I like to keep things together. From Keras pre-processing import image. Okay, so those are like the things I know up front I'm going to need. So I'll just go ahead and import those things. Using TensorFlow backend. Oh, is that like a new warning or something? I don't know. That's my first time seeing that. Alright, so now that we've imported a couple of things, the first thing I'm going to do is load the data. Okay, so when you're working with, so I was just checking the comments. So when you're working with images, you want them to images like have pixels between 1 and 255, but we want hold on, let me just show you what I mean. So now I'm going to import the training data. So this is just me instantiating this image data generator. So the image data generator is what we are using to do the importation. So if we go to Keras documentation, this might make a little bit more sense. Let's see. So if we go to Keras and then go to pre-processing, I believe that's where that was. Pre-processing image generator. Okay, go to image and then image data generator. So this is what we are importing right now for bringing in the data, for loading the data. You know, before we can do anything, we have to first load the data. So this is like the TensorFlow function for loading data, and it has like different arguments that you can use. So this argument is mostly designed to help you reshape your data before you load it. And this reshaping happens while you're loading the data. It doesn't actually affect the actual data set. It's only whatever like you specify in here only affects the data that's loaded onto your model. It doesn't affect the original data stored on your local drive. So I'm just using the rescale, and I'm just using the rescale function. So I want all the data to be between 0 and 1 instead of 1 and 255. So as I keep building, this will make a lot more sense. Right now it doesn't make a lot of sense, and I'm still struggling with kind of like explaining this whole computer vision stuff, but I kind of know what's going on, but explaining it is just a little bit difficult. So bear with me as I build. I'll try to get better at explaining stuff. So let's call this fruit model. Alright, so that's for training. Let's do one for validation data. One of the downsides of using Jupyter Lab is that it doesn't autofill stuff for you. Actually, I could use Jupyter inside Visual Studio Code, and I think that's just a little bit better. Alright, so after this, now we are going to, this is just instantiating the image data generator. but to actually load the data, we use .flow from directory. So the train gen, for example, is equal to this training data gen dot flow from directory. So if we go back to the Keras function right here, let's see dot flow from directly is a module like inside the image data generator, and then you can rescale it, and the first thing that you put in is the location of your file, right? So if we go back here, the first thing I'm supposed to put here is the directory containing the files. Okay, so one way, if you can mess this up, so if you point it to this apple, for example, you're going to mess up everything. You're supposed to point it to the test data, and then inside the test data, so it's supposed to point it to the train data, and then inside the train data